Rowdy group today.
You guys are a rowdy group. The December 8th general government committee meeting. I'll be looking for pull up the agenda. And motion, do I have support for?
Support.
I have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
We provide the public comment guidelines. Each individual state your name. You have 3 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity, and you may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate or answer questions at this time. Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Committee items. 4A, looking for an approval of the minutes from last month.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That will move us to B, appointments. We have several appointments to look at today. On the Parks Board, we currently have 3 positions open. We have 4 applicants. So on our board now is Crystal Pfeiffer, Kelly Frankel, and Jeffrey Schneider. Applicants are Crystal Pfeiffer, Kelly Frankel, Jeffrey Schneider, and Robbie Holton.
Nominate Crystal Pfeiffer for the first one.
Okay. I will support that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Crystal Pfeiffer will be forward. Public member number 2, Kelly Greigel is the current member. Kelly Greigel is the only applicant.
Nominate Kelly Wright.
We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Kelly forward. Public member number 2, Jeffrey Snyder. We have Jeffrey Snyder and Robbie Holton.
Nominate Jeffrey Snyder. Nominate Bolton.
Okay, and we have a all
Yes, Madam Chair. Chair Shotwell,
Schneider.
Commissioner Pulaski,
Bolton.
Commissioner Willis,
Bolton.
Commissioner Snell,
Snyder.
Chair Walls.
Snyder.
Schneider carries.
board will recommend Jeffrey Snyder to move forward on that appointment. On the Blackton DDA, we have a commissioner member. Current member is James Shockwell. Applicant is James Shockwell.
Nominate Shotwell.
Support. We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Shockwell will move forward.
Thank you.
Jackson District Library Board. Public member is currently David Elwell. We have 3 applicants, David Elwell, Robbie Bolton, and David Hammontree.
Nominate Elwell.
Any other nominations?
Yeah, I'll nominate David Hamilton.
Any other nominations? Okay, roll call please.
Commissioner Pulaski,
Elwell.
Commissioner Willis,
Hamilton.
Commissioner Snell,
Elwell.
Chair Walls,
Elwell.
Chair Shotwell.
Elwell.
Elwell passes.
Okay, that concludes our appointments. We'll move those candidates forward to the full board for next Tuesday night. Next up is item letter C, clerk semi-annual
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioners, for allowing me the opportunity to provide this update. I will briefly go over workload, staffing, in each division. If you have any questions at any time, feel free to ask. As you know, the County Clerk and Register of Deeds oversees court services, so that includes civil claims over $25,000, criminal cases including felonies, domestic relations, divorce, paternity, custody support, personal protection orders, juvenile delinquency cases, neglect and abuse cases, business court cases, vital records including birth certificates, death certificates, marriage licenses, DBAs, CPLs, notary applications, elections, and jury. So our office does continue to experience increasing demand across our core services. Specifically noted in my report, personal protection orders have already surpassed last year's numbers, as have death certificates and CPLs. Court filings are along the way, and our customer service numbers are staggering as well. We have also surpassed the number of jury trials in 2024. Our current service levels are being maintained, but we note that we are about a week behind in court services as we are short-staffed, that it continues to be a challenge with the court services group. We are managing, but these ongoing vacancies do cause backlogs. Cross-training is a priority. We ensure that coverage across court divisions, so our court services clerks get trained in court clerks, so our court clerks may take their vacation times or cover when needed. Our record management systems are functioning, but we need to modernize our efforts. We are currently working on back scanning our 2013 caseload, and we continue to do that every week. As far as elections, our 2025 elections went well, and our audits are set to start for next week for the November election. We are preparing for our upcoming election cycle. As you know, 2026 will be busy for our elections division. Our public communication in terms of our elections office, we have done voter education initiatives. We update our website and social media. We do outreach events such as teaching 8th graders to vote. We have noted in our write-ins that LeBron James is a winning candidate for governor. So we're excited to see that fictional race. Other winners in other races are Taylor Swift and some other names that I am not familiar with, as the young people are. As far as customer service and public interaction, we continue to see, particularly in the court services division, emotionally escalated customers. The staff does an excellent job de-escalating them, and I commend them for their service. We are very thankful for the deputies at the courthouse as they provide extra security for our staff. And we are also thankful for quick responses to the tower building by the Jackson City Police Department when necessary as well. I do get rare compliments, but when I do, I'd like to bring them to the board. I had someone let me know how wonderful a job that both the Court Services Division and the Vital Records Division has done recently. So I wanted to let you know that we do receive compliments. They are rare, but we are grateful that we do. We're working with Facilities Department regarding additional storage and scanning capacity for the near future as our volume is increasing. And we are purging records as allowed by state statute. Our ongoing challenges include staffing shortages, as I mentioned before. We have about a 20% turnover rate. Aging technology, we have a scanner that just won't seem to function all the time. And election-related workload spikes that we're anticipating next year, particularly with FOIAs. These challenges are manageable, but I thank you very much for your support. I would also like to thank the staff for providing excellent service to the public. They make me very proud to be a clerk register. They often bring in items, toys or crayons for children to fill out, coloring books while their parents are filling out personal protection orders to keep the children occupied. My staff very much cares about the public and the work they do, so I wanted to make sure you were all aware of that. Thank you for your ongoing support, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Commissioner Plesky?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for the report, Madam Clerk. I was taking a look at the jury report because that's an object of some entertainment at my township meetings.
Sure.
Am I reading it properly? We called almost 2,000 jurors, and 512 failed to appear. So that's a 25% failure rate, a little over 25% failure rate. But it was more than that before. You getting a better response, maybe?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for bringing that up. We are always working with efficiencies and how we can do things better and different. We have since changed from a letter in an envelope to a postcard, and we have seen a little bit of a difference with that. So maybe just people see the postcard, the front and back, and they notice that is from the court, the clerk's office, and that is their jury summons, versus the envelope may not be as noticeable to those people.
And then I saw the fines collected, show cause fines, questionnaire fines, those are from jurors who, failed to appear, sort of thing?
Failed to appear, and for jurors that have failed to fill out their questionnaire within the 10 days, and then also failed to show.
And what's the damage on a failed questionnaire?
$25.
$25. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And I will note, we will always work with jurors. If there's an issue with the mail or if there are other issues, our office does work with the public very well.
And if I may testify to that, Madam Clerk, my son was called got the questionnaire, but he lives in Korea. He's away. And your staff was very responsive and helpful. We had to kind of provide some documentation that he was away, but they excused him very courteously, very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for the compliment.
Seeing none, I'll look for a motion to receive the report.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
That brings us to letter D, Finance, October 2025 Finance Report. Good morning, Cecilia.
Good morning. So I am here to go over October 25's financial report. As you can see on the benchmarks for October 25, 10/12 of the budget is 83.3%. As you can see, our year-to-date expenditure is below that, which is a positive thing. And then our year-to-date revenue percent total is 94.9%, which is above our 3-year revenue average, which is also a positive thing. Are there any questions on the financial report?
Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to receive the report.
Support?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to letter E, Finance, 2025 Budget Amendment.
Okay, thank you. So yes, this is our year-end budget amendment. It does include various funds, and the funds are in red. And the first couple of pages are revenue budget adjustments, and the last 4 pages roughly are the expenditures. There's 2 funds that I just want to bring to your attention that is significant. Number 1 is the general fund. As the board knows, our fund balance policy, wants the fund balance be between 18 and 24%. Right now, our fund balance is right around 25%. So we're proposing with this budget amendment to bring our fund balance down to 22%, which is where on the first page, under the general fund, the last line, it has planned use of fund balance. That's where the $2.5 million comes from. And then we are also anticipating excess revenue for this year, right around another 1.4 million roughly. And so our proposal is that those excesses per board policy is to transfer those into our equipment fund, which is the 245 fund, and to help fund our capital account. If you turn to page 7, I just want to show you what that would look like, in which, so it has public improvement and building, the 245 fund, and it lists all the different buildings, and we're in the contingency line items. So the first few lines, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9, the first 9 lines right before you get to the 300,000, those would be the 3.8 million transfer from the general fund. As you can see, we are asking the board to allow us to put $1 million into the jail, because there's things that the sheriff would like to do with our jail since we weren't able to pass our jail millage last year. And then there's also projects that the medical examiner's office would like to do with their space. So that is what we are asking and proposing, and why. There is $300,000 that is also being put into the equipment fund, and that's from our ARPA, the interest we've earned on our ARPA dollars. And then there was a small amount for $42,000 that more had to do with fairgrounds with their bleachers. And I'll just stop there. Are there any questions? I've said a lot, so.
Any questions? Commissioner Pileski?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So that was the first thing that drew my mind, was the use of fund balance, use of the general fund balance. And my initial thought was alarm, I guess, that we're using some of our fund balance. But if
it's
I
a
can
positive
describe
thing.
it, as I understand it in my simplistic way, is that we find that we're going to use some of the fund balance because it's a little higher than our policy calls for.
Yes.
And we're basically putting money into savings accounts for building things we are pretty sure are going to happen in a future year
Yes.
that are not happening in the current year. And we're taking our fund balance down to the 22%, and we're setting that aside for things that will be done, or we're pretty sure are going to be done as to buildings in some future period. Would that be a simplistic way of saying that?
Exactly, yes. And then the excess for this year, again, is more of just a one-time thing. We can't anticipate that we're going to have this excess next year either.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when we do, that's when we want to be able to put it aside, because we know how old our buildings are. We know there's projects that we want to do. There's parking lots we want to do, things like that.
So remind me, I think we budget fairly closely every year.
Yes.
So now we've had rather a better fund balance than we maybe thought we were going to have. Is that the result of revenues or
Yeah.
expenses, or what, just kind of in a large sense, what were the things that went frankly better than we thought?
Right, so on our first page, you'll see that there's property taxes and interest are big ones. I can tell you right now, this is where we're at right this second. I don't have final entries yet, so I don't have a property tax receivable number. I'll receive that from the treasurer's office mid to late January, 1st of February. But as of right now, it looks like there is an increase in our property taxes. And then the other one with our expenditures, it's all about staffing, meaning that turnover. So people leaving, it takes time to fill positions, which saves on wages, saves on benefits. So if you kind of look through all of anything in red on the expenditure side is an expenditure budget that wasn't used. Because we always budget full FTEs when we are doing our budgets.
So other than the couple things we've discussed, in looking through the budget adjustments, the rest of them appear very minor in nature and are more or less table dressing to get to the end of the year here, it seems to me. Okay. Thanks for the report, Cecilia, and thank you, Madam Chair.
Are there any further questions? Yes.
Thank you. Got a new question, Cecilia.
Okay, Tony.
Thank you for answering all my questions last week. I appreciate that. Comparing your October statement, bottom page 2, it says the general fund revenue totals for the year were 52.6 million. And now with this 2025 budget adjustments under revenue, it has, under the current property tax, 30 million. What's the difference between or why is there a difference between the 30 million number and the 52 million number in these two reports?
Okay, well, the 52 million is total revenue. So it's including all of the revenues on that page, on the financial report. It's including all of them. Okay? So if you look at so the 30 million on the budget is just current property tax. That's one revenue line item of the 52 million.
Okay,
Does
thank you.
that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair, I got one more observation.
Commissioner Pileski.
Thank you, and thank you for the consideration, Madam Chair, for a second question that comes to mind in an elderly brain. With respect to the monies we're setting aside, especially for the jail,
Okay.
we're putting $1 million there. We know we're going to have to spend money. Would I be correct in saying that that is in the nature of addressing capital needs that may arise, but it's not necessarily going to be adequate in size to build another jail or to do some of the works we have talked about over the years? This is going to be in the nature of repairs and fixes that we think we can do with the monies we have available, but it's not necessarily a savings account for a new jail.
That is true.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Did you have
Thank you. Next month, we're going to, the sheriff's going to be here. We're going to have a capital plan showing what he hopes to do in the near and even, we'll call it short-term, meaning a couple years down the road, to a plan for capital uses of funding. And it's nowhere near adequate to do all of it, but, at least we're moving in the right direction.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'll move to recommend the budget adjustment to the full board.
We have a motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Thank you.
That brings us to letter F, Treasurer Quarterly Report.
Good morning. So I sent my quarterly report to all of you via email last week. It's quite a lengthy report, but I felt that the topics were relevant, and I think you needed to know what was happening, especially with regard to the claims process. So hopefully I laid this out as clearly as possible. It's kind of a convoluted mess on my end. To be truthful and frank, we've got a lot of different claims coming at us from different court decisions. So I tried to lay the timeline out as clearly as possible, but it doesn't always work out that way. And we're still in the process of dealing with this claims process, so it continues. So I wanted to take a minute to highlight that. Other than that, we've just got our status of the tax foreclosures from this cycle this year, with the details on how everything happened, and it looks like we sold all of, or have gotten rid of all of our parcels from this tax foreclosure, all sold but one at the auctions, and the last parcel went to the city per their request. And then I also have some updates on the two properties that the county owns. County Treasurer owns the Mechanic Street property, formerly known as Michener, and the Angling Avenue property, also formerly known as Michener Properties. Ongoing sampling going on there, so we're meeting via email with Eagle and EPA on a pretty consistent basis for both of these properties, and they are there monthly doing their sampling and reports out and all of that. So other than that, I just have information on our upcoming very important dates in January and in February. And then, of course, to let everyone know of the upcoming tax foreclosure deadline, March 31st, 2026. So at this point in time, I'll entertain questions if you have any for me.
Any questions? Seeing none, I'll, looking for a motion to move this forward.
Support.
I have a motion and support. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holidays to all of you.
Thank you. Next, we have Parks. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you. Good morning. So my first item, it's kind of a follow-up from last month. You all resolved to accept a grant from the DNR to make improvements at Minard Mills County Park. So this is kind of the next step in that project. So, you know, the construction will come down the road. This is the design portion of making the improvements at the park. So we put this out to bid and we got 6 proposals. We kind of narrowed it down to 3 based on similar experience as well as DNR Trust Fund grant experience we thought was very important with this project. And then once we narrowed it down to those 3, we did select the lower bid of the 3. So we're recommending Rowe Professional Services, mainly based on their price and their experience, but they're also working adjacent to the park and doing the design work for Springport Road right outside the park. So that's our recommendation.
Committee, do we have any questions? Entertain a motion to move to the, oh, this one, I'm sorry, this is an action. We need to accept the proposal, so I'll entertain a motion to accept the proposal.
So move. Support.
I have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And that takes us to letter H, and that's Kyle again.
Okay, this is to replace a playground at Pleasant Lake County Park. Similar to a lot of our playgrounds, we bid out this way. We give them the budget in advance and ask what they can do within that budget. So we advertised at $225,000 for this project. Received a few bids. We did have some community meetings out at Henrietta Township for this project, mainly because we're replacing a playground that was a community build project. So there's a lot of folks that are still around that were invested in that and helped build it and helped fundraise for it. So really wanted to make sure that we got their ideas and input as we replace something that means a lot to those folks. So I think we had 3 different meetings, including meeting with the township board out there. So we kind of agreed with that committee as far as, or the public input as far as the Sinclair Recreation proposal here. So once we narrowed it down to Sinclair, we did add some accessibility pieces to it. That's why it's a little higher than the 225. So we, you know, the park board and part of our 5-year recreation plan has a goal to make our playgrounds more accessible. So we wanted to make sure we were covering that with this playground as well. So this is one of our more significant playgrounds because it's one of our higher use parks with the campground out there at Pleasant Lake. So the township is putting $8,400 towards this project. A lot of that is $6,000 of that is left over from the original community build project that they did back in 2000. So so our recommendation is the Sinclair Recreation. It's based on it's about twice the size as the other 2 designs, and it's got a few different more play pieces, so there's more value with it.
Thank you, Kyle. Do we have any questions?
Move to adopt the staff recommendation.
I have a motion and support. So we will be accepting, just so everyone is aware, the proposal for the playground equipment installation from Sinclair Recreation in the amount of $259,100. We'll be moving this to the full board. So this is an action item to move to the full board, not to approve today. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
That takes us to other business. Letter A, the claims. Need a motion to approve the claims. You made a motion?
I'll support.
Have a motion and support. Are there any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to letter B, other minutes, seeing none. We'll move on to letter C. Reporting schedule, it's currently not available. We'll look forward to that next month. That takes us to public comments. This is our second opportunity for public comments. Each individual will state their name, have 2 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment, and you may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate or answer questions at this time. Any public comment? No public comment? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Committee member comments. Commissioner Plesky.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've got two things. One, I would draw the park's attention to the fact that discussions with respect to the Swains Lake sewer are continuing. And the park will be at least tangentially involved with that because of the county park that's out that way. Just making sure, I hope you're aware that that discussion is continuing. Of course, one of the questions would be how many units are attributed to the park versus how many units are attributed to the residents out there. So if you're aware, that's good. Just want to make sure you know that that's going on. The other thing, Madam Chair, if a motion is in order at this moment, I would suggest that we ask our administration, I'll move that we ask our administration to provide a report at the Tuesday meeting with respect to what would be involved and the numbers necessary to provide our elected officials with an increase, and I'm going to suggest 3%. And I hope to get support for that.
Support.
So the motion, Madam Chair, is to instruct administration to provide information at the Tuesday meeting about the numbers necessary to provide our elected officials a 3% increase. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We have a motion and support. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any other committee member comments? Seeing none, meeting is adjourned.